I know one of the things you talk about with having your values is like healthy values are ones that stem from actually things that you can control that are socially acceptable. Could you talk a bit about like how you see values and how, I guess to figure out whether or not your value system is one that's operational and that's serving you or otherwise?
Yeah. So we all have to prioritize things in our lives. Like we all have to care about something, and whatever we choose to care about, we kind of prioritize those things. So maybe first is kids, and second is career, and third is family, and fourth is friends or whatever. But we all have a little like ladder in our brains of, you know, which slot each thing fits into. And that kind of value ladder determines our decision-making process. So if it's a choice between friends and career, if we value our career more, we do the thing that helps our career. If it's between family and career, if we value our family more, we choose family. And it's our values are expressed through our actions and our decisions. So, you know, it's very, what you see a lot is people say that they value something. It's like, oh, I really value honesty and integrity, but then they go around and lie to everybody. So it's you can say you value whatever you want, but really your values are demonstrated through your actions. And a lot of subtle art is simply, the problem is that most people aren't even aware that this kind of decision-making process is going on in their head. They aren't aware of their own values. We all think we're like great, wonderful people. And so we don't actually stop and look at our actions objectively and recognize where maybe some of the things that we're attached to, the values that we're attached to that aren't helping us, that are causing us to harm or damage other aspects of our lives. So a lot of subtle art is simply helping people see their own values clearly, ask questions that will help them see their own values clearly, and then suggesting ways to go about changing their values or improve upon their values.
And that seems to tie into what you talk about, like when choosing your pain, where I think a lot of people, they look at like, what do I want? What is the reward I want? But they're not looking at that path of sacrifice that it takes to get that $1 million job a year in finance or whatever it's going to be. It's like, no, I don't want to be going in on Saturdays and doing 100-hour weeks.
Yeah.
So I guess what is that path in terms of how do you choose your pain?
Yeah. So it's the path to choosing your values is through the path of pain. It's easy to want the benefits of everything. It's easy to want to be popular. It's easy to want to have a great relationship. It's easy to want to be rich. Like we all want to be rich and popular and happy. Like it's the same shit. What differentiates us, what actually determines who you are versus who I am versus who somebody watching this is what pain that we choose to bring into our lives. So, you know, we all want to be happy and successful and everything, but some of us are more comfortable or actually enjoy certain sacrifices more than others. Some of us enjoy working weekends. Some of us enjoy, like, for instance, for me, I enjoy the solitude that comes with writing. A lot of people don't. I enjoy the kind of anxiety and emotional stress that comes with putting my work out in public consistently. A lot of people really don't. Whereas there are some people who like really enjoy sitting down with a spreadsheet for 3 hours. Like that sounds like hell to me, you know? So it's actually the things that we don't like. It's not that we don't enjoy them. It's actually the things that are stressful and cause us to struggle, that differentiate who we are and what we care about and our paths towards those things that we want: success, mm-hmm. happiness, relationships, whatever. And so instead of thinking about the positive thing that you want, I always implore people to think about the sacrifices that you want. What is the pain that you enjoy that most people don't? If you find that, that's probably a career waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it seems like when you initially say that, most people's response is like, well, fuck, like I don't want to go towards pain. Like we're designed to move away from pain, but then if you have that reflective, if you can go into that reflective state and you're like, well, there's probably pain that I'm suffering that I don't realize I'm doing. Like you're saying, it's like you could be enjoying something that other people see as suffering as well. And then you just don't recognize it because it's you.
Yeah, sometimes in talks I describe it as like, what kind of masochist are you? Because because it's we've all got like one little thing that is just, we kind of enjoy being tortured by it, and usually within that there's like a nugget of some sort of passion or purpose that we can cling on to. And the other thing I say to people is like, there's no such thing as a pain-free life. Like no matter whether you want to, doesn't matter what you want to do with your life, it's impossible to experience a life without some sort of sacrifice, without some sort of discomfort. And so if that's just reality, like if you can never get away from the struggle, then you might as well choose the struggles you want to have. Like if struggle is inevitable, then by definition, a good life is having struggles you want.
Yeah. And it seems to stem because you have a background in Buddhism, or you've studied a lot of Buddhism. And I mean, all of the great religions seem to like start from the fundamental truth that life is suffering. And then your goal within that is then, okay, how do I find a meaning that justifies or offsets the suffering that I'm experiencing?
Yeah. It's like, what makes this pain worth it? Instead, most people's instinctive reaction is, I want to get rid of the pain. I don't want to have pain. Pain is bad. A lot of what I try to do is to just shift people over to, don't get rid of the pain, but, find something that makes the pain worth it.
Mm-hmm. And you can't have a neutral life either, because if there's suffering and then you need meaning to offset it, but you don't find meaning, then you're just left with the suffering. And so that's kind of why you seem to be pushing people towards like, you need to find a way to give less fucks about the things that don't matter so you can focus on the things that bring you meaning.
Yeah. Because if you don't find anything meaningful in your life, like your brain is a meaning machine. So if you don't find anything that's meaningful, your brain is going to start finding the stupidest shit and make it meaningful, and that's why you see people who like get unbelievably upset at Starbucks because their coffee came wrong. It's like, okay, clearly they don't have anything more important going on in their life right now. Otherwise they wouldn't be so upset about this.
Did you like what you just saw? Well, great, because our YouTube channel is chock full of tips on how to grow your online business and learn from the best in the industry. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss out. And if you're looking for the absolute best software for entrepreneurs at the lowest possible price, then you should absolutely head over to appsumo.com and subscribe to our email list. Heck, we'll even throw in 10% off your first order just to make it a no-brainer. Now, you're in on one of the best kept secrets in software.